how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel, and today on the cards, Arsenal versus Leicester City game preview. Obviously, it has been, in a way, an uphill battle for Arsenal during the season, especially the fact that we have gotten a few red cards, which means we have played, 40% of games with red cards against Brighton, against Manchester City. Still somehow gotten a decent outcome out of them. Obviously, the heartbreak after Manchester City game has been a rough one to swallow, I'm not gonna lie. Everything you you had to read online and everywhere from rivals fans and everything was absolutely, well, quote unquote disgusting, because let's be real, double standards all over the place. But we are not gonna talk about that here. We're gonna talk about Arsenal per se. And this is a game where I expect from Arsenal to see finally goals, because we have had these games where we play. We don't have the easiest start of the season. Let's be real. The first half of the season even is very rough, with the playing most of the top six sides away. Only the one we play at home, is Liverpool, and everything. It has been a rough one, but we somehow have gone out quite decently. The issue is obviously injuries. But going back to the point about scoring goals, we have scored 2 goals. We have scored 1 goal against Spurs, 2 goals against City, 1 goal against Brighton. And obviously, it has been very low scoring games for Arsenal. But in a way, that is what Arteta wants. He wants total control of the game and play out games with 1-2 nothing wins. It feels like we are under George Graham again in a way. We park the bus and then we stink out 1-0, 2-0 wins. But obviously, against Bolton, granted League One side, but in relegation zone and all that stuff, we rotated quite heavily and still won 5-1. We finally saw some goals going in. And this is something I want to carry into this Leicester game. I want this momentum to carry over and for Arsenal to start scoring goals. I'm not looking for a 1-0 win, 2-0 win. I want to bear them 5-0. Genuinely. I want for our attack to finally get that confidence, get that excitement, and trust in themselves to score goals. Because we put 5 past Bolton, right? Bolton. And Gabriel Jesus didn't even get a proper sniff of scoring a goal. Arguably our main striker at the time, who led the line and everything, didn't even score a goal. And we put 5 past Bolton. Nwaneri scored twice. Havertz scored. Sterling scored. The guys who genuinely don't need too much scoring. It's obviously great to see Nwaneri score. We're gonna get to him in a second. But Gabriel Jesus, he needs to start scoring, because getting injured all the time, he's done. He is legitimately done. If he doesn't score at least 15 goals this season, he needs to go. He genuinely needs to go. So I'm looking for a high-scoring game tomorrow, coming out from the blocks and just peppering them. Left in, left out, left, right, center, top, bottom, all the places you can imagine. I want at least 4 or 5 goals tomorrow. Our attack to click into gear. Because it's all fun and games when we have defense that can see out the game, but they actually want for us to start scoring. Because sooner or later the luck actually could run out. Our defense is very solid. Let's not take credit away from that. But if we concede once and we cannot score, it's a problem. If we score once, they score once, it's 1-1, and we cannot score again, it's a problem. And this all comes back obviously for the last summer, last season, when everyone's screaming we need a striker, and we still haven't addressed that situation. Our top goal scorer in Premier League is Kai Havertz with 2 goals. But he's sharing that spot together with our center back Gabriel. And that thing cannot fly. Genuinely, that thing cannot fly with me. We cannot rely generally on our center backs to carry our scoring load, as mad as it sounds. But to be honest, we are set piece FC, so we might expect tomorrow some set piece goals. Now, there is 2 ways I can see tomorrow's game going. Either Arsenal will come in red hot from Bolton game and bear them, or it could be a bit of a rough game, because Leicester actually are not a team that has had very rough patches during the games, who have conceded a lot and who have not scored a lot. They are a team that scores quite a bit. Obviously, if we look at starting 11 in general, this is my starting 11 I would go for. Obviously, Mikel Arteta gave an interview today at Soberel Center and everything about injuries, about situations, issues, and all that stuff. And obviously, David Raya is one of the biggest worries, because he's our #1 keeper, and he said that he needs still 24 hours to reassess. For me, Neto is good enough to be in goal against Leicester, for example, because after that we have Champions League against PSG, if I'm not mistaken. So then we need that Raya. So if Raya is ready for 90% for Leicester game tomorrow, he still doesn't start for me. I would still start Neto, so Raya can have that extra day to recover, to be 100% to play against PSG. We have to look now in long-term plans already. We need these situations. Our defensive backline for me stays the same. Obviously, everyone has trained. Everyone's pretty much safe and sound. It has been confirmed that Luis Skelly. It was just cramps. It wasn't nothing serious, so he's good in that regard. Midfield-wise, though, there is the one thing. I would start Ethan Nwaneri. Yes, he played full 90 against Bolton. He scored twice. For me, at the moment, he is that guy we need in midfield. To not maybe per se to play like Odegaard point per point, but he plays similarly to Odegaard. But the one thing he has that Odegaard doesn't have is ball carrying effect. He can get the ball and just carry, dribble, skill around defenders and carry it. Something that we haven't seen pretty much since, well, let's be real, Emil Smith-Rowe in a way. The prime Emil Smith-Rowe season, he had that one season where he single-handedly with Bukayo Saka saved Mikel Arteta's job like 3 seasons ago. He was even Rio Ferdinand. Even Rio Ferdinand said he is the best ball carrier Arsenal have at the moment, one of the best carriers at that time in the league if he was on form. So that is something we have been missing in the midfield. Declan Rice doesn't do that enough, but obviously with the low block, the way we have played, we haven't seen that too much for him this season, and that comes down again to defensive style, red cards and all that stuff, obviously. And not the easiest starts because we had Villa, Brighton, Man City, and all. So it has been there and it will be there. So for this game at home, I'm looking to start goal scoring form. If we look at attack, obviously Bukayo Saka starts. I think he is one of those that in Mikel Arteta's eyes, if he can walk, if he even can crawl, he will start. So I would start him. Havertz starts up top. I've seen enough of Jesus. He can just hold the bench. And on the left side, it's the interesting one. I would actually start Leandro Trossard. Obviously, Martinelli came on as a sub yesterday against Bolton. Sterling started, got goal and assist. There is the coin toss for me: start Sterling or start Trossard. But since Trossard had a red card, I would start Trossard just because he is very well rested. The thing is, though, I have a very sneaky suspicion that there might be some quote-unquote, maybe not favoritism, but punishment from Mikel Arteta for getting that stupid red card from Trossard's side to basically bench him and maybe start Sterling or Martinelli into tomorrow's game. For me, I would start Trossard. If you don't start Trossard, I would actually start Raheem Sterling. I would still make Martinelli hold bench because for the last year and a half, it has been very, very rough performances from Martinelli. His confidence is down in the gutter. And obviously, putting him on the bench won't help him that much. But at the same time, we need to pick up points. And I think starting Sterling, given that he is growing and the form he kind of was starting to pick up against Bolton, could show in this game against Leicester as well. Obviously, it was only Bolton and everything, but you need those type of games when you score quite a bit of goals against lower sides, where you kind of maybe get the confidence, get the momentum rolling. And I think that could have been the key factor in this instance per se. Now, if we look at Arsenal's schedule for the games, Arsenal have quite a bit of games going on here. Genuinely, quite a bit of games going on. Sorry, it's not centered. My LCD is acting up in this one, but it's a video, so I'm not gonna correct it mid-video. But as you can see, we have to play against Leicester tomorrow. It's 3 p.m. kickoff. For me, it's 5 p.m. Let's be real. But then we have PSG, so we would players. But here it is: Southampton, Bournemouth, and these 3 games: Leicester at home, Southampton at home, and Bournemouth away. I am looking at scoring at least 3 goals in every single one of those games. I think these are the perfect run of games to pick up momentum in Premier League that could carry over into Champions League, where we are actually in good goal scoring form. Because the perfect way to do this is to everything be in balance. And at the moment, our defense outweighs our attack massively in terms of performances. And let's be real, David Raya pretty much has been man of the match. You could arguably say every single game he has played for Arsenal at the moment. Yes, for one of the games he didn't get it, but obviously it's not the greatest of signs when goalkeeper gets man of the match game in, game out, pretty much. So that is not a good look for Arsenal in general. So I'm looking for Arsenal to start to click in attack finally. But as I'm saying, I want these 4-0, 5-0 wins. Leicester City hasn't been peppered at all this season. If you look at the games, if you look in Premier League, they have August 19th, here we go. They drew against Tottenham 1-1. They lost to Fulham 2-1. Obviously, they beat Tranmere for nothing, but Villa only 1-2. It was at home. Against Palace 2-2. Everton 1-1. They beat Walsall away only on penalties. But still, the big thing is they don't get peppered whatsoever. So definitely, I'm not expecting that to be super easy game, but I would expect the caliber the team that Arsenal is to actually score at least 3-4 goals this game. So this is the big thing. For me, my prediction for this game obviously is Arsenal's win. And Arsenal to win 3-0. 3-0 I will be in a way in my predictions cautious because I expect more from my team, but I'm gonna say 3-0 win. And in hopes that maybe Havertz scores again, Saka scores, Nwaneri maybe does something. So definitely it will be very, very interesting. And as you can see also from this chart from previous games from Leicester, they are not doing that well away. They lost to Fulham, they drew to Palace, they sorry, they Walsall took them to penalties, so it's not an easy ride for them away. So I'm really hoping that at home we can again put in a master performance where we actually go out and beat them. So for me today, for this game, it's a 3-0 win. That is my prediction. This game could go, as I said, two ways. Either it will be a peppering by Arsenal, or it could be a bit nitty gritty towards a certain part until Arsenal break the deadlock, and then it could get very interesting. Obviously, if we concede first, it could go either way, to be honest, because with the struggles we have had in attack, on certain level, there could be also some issues if they put up like a low mid block. So that will be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. But it's weird as an Arsenal fan to go into a game and not to be worried as a result. I know it sounds a bit cocky, but Arsenal fans haven't had this luxury for years. And at the moment I'm going into the Leicester game, I know I'm respecting Leicester. I know what have Leicester done. They have won Premier League before, more recent than Arsenal, obviously, and everything. They still have Jamie Vardy, obviously, but he's still aging like a fine wine with his age and scoring goals. But at the same time, it's Leicester. We should be beating them. Obviously, we had the same energy last year against Fulham, West Ham, 2 years ago against Southampton, and we all saw how that turned out at the end of the season and during those games. So can't be too confident. But I don't have this worry going into a game that Arsenal might not get the job done. So at the end of the day, I'm going for a 3-0 win. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Arsenal's predicted starting 11 and what are your score predictions. Enjoy the game. Stay safe. See you all tomorrow after the game. There will be a live stream when we're going to talk about the game. But for today, I am out. Take care. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy the game. Peace.